Rusty old man here, and today I am in the swamp. That's right, it is a very basic monument in Rust, but you know what? Today's video is all about what I think is the best solo base. That's right, I said solo base. You ain't gonna have enough room for your sweetie pie to live with you, so you're gonna need to kick him out and go somewhere else. But if you're on one of those solo duo servers, this is gonna be it for you. Now, I picked the swamp because, you know, living solo out in the swamp, it ain't glamorous, but it's honest work. You ain't got teammates breathing down your neck, stealing your cloth, judging you when you miss a spear throw from 5 feet away. Yeah, I know you're thinking that. I know. Out here, it's just me and the frogs, and a base made of soggy dreams and half-rotted wood. Every time I step outside, sounds like I'm walking on a wet sponge full of regret. Well, let's get this thing built. I've built this base a couple times, but I've had modifications on it, but never done a true build video of just my roof bunker base. Now, you're gonna wanna have some high foundations and low foundations, okay? And to do this, the way you start off is you wanna make sure you're gonna be above the water, though. You definitely wanna, if you're gonna be in the swamp, you don't need to be in the swamp, but if you're gonna be in the swamp, make sure that you're above the water with the low foundation, okay? One quick way to tell is just right there. I can tell that I'm above that. So how you start this off is you start with 2 raised foundations here, just like that. We'll go ahead and close these off here. We don't want anybody peeking in on us here. We'll go ahead and put a door right there, throw our ceiling on top there. You want to make sure that sheet metal door that you place here, because it's early game, actually goes in, okay? Otherwise, you might get stuck trying to get in and block your way. You don't want to do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and place my TC. Again, you can design this. You all know I am not an interior designer, okay? I'll go ahead and lock that TC here. And if you want to, have your little airlock. All right, there we go. I got my airlock in here now. So now at least I'm safe. Now it's not going to block anybody from getting in. They're still going to be getting in, but this is an old school airlock where you got to go like this. We're going to do 2 like that, and then we're going to do a raised foundation here and a raised foundation there. Low foundation here, low foundation here, and then we're going to go ahead and make it look like a regular foundation. That's right, just like this. Okay, it's looking good, isn't it? Let's take a look from up above here. That's all we've done here. It's almost like a 2x2, if you will, with a little bit of honeycomb. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just box it all in here. But you are going to need an airlock here, so let's go ahead and do that. And then I like to have a wall frame there because I want to eventually put a garage door right here. I want to make it as strong as possible. Again, this is a solo base. We'll go ahead and get our honeycomb filled out there. Make sure we cap off the tops there as well. Okay, that's it. That's the start of our base. All right, let's go ahead and lock that front door right there. Boom. Now, if you need to, by the way, and you might need this, you might need to put a low foundation there just so you can get in your base, okay? And you know what? And accidentally hit the wrong key to wave at yourself as you're going into your base there. That'd be helpful. I'm going to go ahead and put that garage door right there. I'm going to go ahead and put garage doors right here as well. There we go. We're looking good here. So that's the second phase right here. That first phase was just right here, just this little 1x2. Second phase is this right here, and then we're going to go ahead and make that roof bunker. And I'll tell you, and I've mentioned this before, but for those folks that are new, we do a full wall and then a half wall up top. Now this full wall right here we'll go ahead and get rid of. We want that half wall to be something that is not twigs. That's why it's like that. And we'll go ahead and use ourselves a roof triangle here. Now, we want that to be OG stone right there, okay? You do not want it to be any of the DLCs, okay? If I change this to Adobe, for example, look at that. You can go through that. If it is jungle, same thing. Brutalist, same thing. So make sure you just go ahead and use the default stone skin. If you're gonna get to metal, which you absolutely will want to do, you go ahead and make sure it's the default metal skin because you can't slip through that right there. And what I mean by slipping through here is if I'm coming through this way right here, you see, I cannot get down there. Your partners, your teammates, any of those people, they're not going to be able to get through there, okay? This is one of the great things that you have with a triangle roof bunker. The other thing that's wonderful about it is the cost. Now, in typical bunkers, when you break that twig or that wood, it will break the HQ, it'll break the metal, you'll have to pay that cost to repair it. Not with this. For this, we're gonna go ahead and put a little twig triangle wall right here, and look at that. Yep, look at this. Slip right on through there, okay? And again, I wanna break it, no worries. All I'm paying for is the twig. That's why this is the perfect solo base. And the reason why it's solo is literally, this is all the storage space you have. And the stuff that's in here, well, if someone gets through those first front doors, they're going to be able to destroy this stuff with some rockets, some splash damage. So I wouldn't put any valuables in here. So yeah, don't put any valuables here. Now let's go ahead and upgrade this because you're going to want to make sure that you have your core as at least metal, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and do these as well as metal because you know why? Because it makes it easier when I'm doing deployables, okay? There we go. We're going to do this guy here. And these are a must because they can be soft-sided. Don't make it easy for them to soft-side it, folks, okay? Here, the whole interior is going to be metal. That's right. There, and then we got this one up here we'll get. Beep. Okay. We've got all of those done. So now I've got this whole thing like this. Now, we're not done, okay? This is just the finishing out that second phase, maybe phase 2.5 to go ahead and up everything to metal. I'm going to go ahead and put that twig in here. With that, I'm going to go on outside, and we're going to need to do a little bit of honeycomb in here to make this even more secure. We'll just honeycomb around this base just like you typically would in any type of base here. Now this area here, you may be wondering, what is this again? Well, if I go inside my base, it's that foundation right there. So you're going to want to make sure that you put a little honeycomb around that as well. Yeah, it's going to look a little weird. It's not going to be nice and pretty and symmetrical, but that's okay. We're playing Rust. Ain't nothing pretty here. There we go. We want to go ahead and hide that there, and then I'll go ahead and honeycomb this up here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and honeycomb the top as well here. Now, obviously, as your white progresses, you will want to go ahead and upgrade this to metal. But let's just take a look at where we're at right now. Let's go ahead and get in here. Now you're thinking, wait a second, this still is a little unsecure. What if somebody goes through there? Don't worry. Before I look at that upkeep in there, I'm going to go ahead and put a shotgun trap. Now, here's the thing with the shotgun trap. It does two things. One, and most importantly, it provides protection from someone sneaking in after you. It will go ahead and destroy this twig right here. We're going to go ahead and go as close as possible to the twig, up at a little angle. And the reason why I do that is so that it makes it nice and easy to go through. If you put it a little too low, sometimes, you know, you're jumping up kind of weird. This, it's perfect. Right on through, and I can get through. It makes it super duper easy. Okay, what's our upkeep of this base look like? Look at that. We got one metal node, a little bit more than one metal node. We got 2 stone nodes and a little bit of twig in there to keep that up right there. So, hey, we're looking good right there. Again, you can figure out how you want to do the deployables however you want. Like I said, my only advice is don't throw anything that you need here. This is going to be where your drop boxes are. This is going to be where you're, you know, maybe you got your food. Maybe you got some fuel in here. Put your good stuff in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this because again, but after you progress a little bit more and you get a little richer, you want to start upgrading your base. Now I would upgrade first this one right here, okay? Because again, that's the wall they're going to see first. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and go first. I'll do the foundation, and then I'm going to do here. So this room here gets done first. Then it's going to be this room here. Once you're done with that room in there, we're going to go to this one. That's all we're doing, right? We're just going to keep going here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this as well. All right, let's put that twig in there and look at that. Oh, look at that. That is looking good. And if you're feeling a little insecure about that soft side right there, you can go ahead and upgrade that if you want. Not needed. I'm going to go ahead and go outside. And we're going to go ahead and upgrade this to metal. Okay, now we've got this all done to metal. This is what our base is looking like. Let's go ahead and take a look here now inside. What is our upkeep of this base? Now we're looking at a node of metal Now this is 50 HQ. That is pricey, okay? It doesn't need to be that pricey and less than 2 stone nodes a day. You don't have to go HQ right here if you don't want to, okay? You could keep this metal if you'd like, you know. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see what the metal cost would be if I did this just as metal. I am going to make this guy right here HQ because, again, if somebody gets through, I don't want him to soft side that one right there. And we're going to go ahead and do that one as well. But this I will keep as an armored roof there. What are we looking at now? Now we're talking 35. So that brings it more into a reasonable state. Again, as a solo, it's pricey, and you can determine how you want to fit this out and how you want to decorate it as well. But this, in my opinion, this is the best solo base that you can have. Now, obviously, you can. I've seen videos where they build these solo bases where they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Listen, the job in Rust is not to have a bigger and bigger base. If you need all that extra storage because you're storing all these guns and stuff, guess what? You're not playing the game. You're not out there roaming. You're sitting there being a hermit, okay? You need to get out, explore, do some raids, do some taxi driving, whatever you need to do. Do some hot rodding on those motorcycles. Let's see what our raid cost is here. Let's go ahead and get outside. We'll do the rocket raid cost here. This is going to be 2 rockets. Got a garage door there. Great. That's 3 rockets, so we're up to 5 rockets. And then you get into this bad boy right here. That's 15 rockets. You know how much sulfur is in 15 rockets, by the way? Go ahead and put it in the chat if you know. Go ahead, down below. How much sulfur do you think it is to go 15 rockets? I'll tell you, 21 dimes. That's right, 21,000 sulfur. Woo! All right, so there we go. There's 15. So now we got, what, 20 rocket raid. We got another 3 here, 23. Here we got that 26 rockets to TC. Now, again, I hope they don't do that because that would be terrible and they'd be going through a lot of wasted sulfur. Now, you could go from the top down, right? All right, if I go down here, now I got 8 rockets here. Underneath that, we've got that. Now we've got another 15 rockets there. So I can't do math very well, but I believe that is 23 rockets to get to the TC. Maybe you want to go through the honeycomb outside. 4 rockets to go through stone, 15 more to go through that armored. So you're talking 19. 19 rocket raid, not bad. Get a little richer throughout the wipe. You want to make that honeycomb metal. You're back to that 23 rocket raid again. Now this base right here, this is the Swamp King base right here, okay? This base right here, it doesn't have to be in the swamp. You can build it anywhere you want. But this one here is going to get you the protection you need to get started in your solo wipe or even in a wipe where you're playing with big groups of people and you're just living in a little community. This is the one for you right here. I love this base. Again, love to hear your comments. You guys love giving me slack in the comments. You guys love talking about, well, this and that. Hey, listen, that's what I'm here for. Go ahead and join my Discord, okay? Let's talk about these things. Let's form this community on crazy solo players. Even if you're a duo, you're welcome. Heck, you group folks as well. I love you all. But you know what? I hope to see you all on a server sometime soon. I really do. You'll know who I am. I'll have this base probably and a hell of a lot of role-playing stuff going on. So with that, we'll see you later.